there, dickhead.
Hello and welcome to a Technology Sucks edition of the Grumpy Old Man Wrestling Podcast. Rick Crab here in the studio with Chris Filato, the schlep rock of our show.
Yep. Slap up a Baltimore. Wowsy, wowsy, woo, woo.
Yeah, no kidding.
Technology is not your friend tonight.
No, it's not. Neither is pyrotechnics, according to last night's episode of Fastlane. For a while, Chris, I kept thinking I was going to slip. I keep thinking of that old 80s metal band Fast Way. Say what you will, remember that?
Trick or Treat, yeah.
But, so, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the New Japan Cup as well.
There were some earth-shaking details out of that one.
Yep.
And when we get to that, I got a question for you about that.
Okay.
Something that makes you think.
You mean when they turned down the Tokyo Dome lights and Godzilla popped up?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
We'll get to that right away. Right now, it'll make you think about this. What happened during the night, 2 nights ago during the Tokyo, they were in Sendai, where they had 10 years ago the 9.0 earthquake, which with that nuclear power plant melted down. They had a 7-2 while the show was going on. People were scattered out of the ring. People were getting out of the ring. They had to hold the show for like 30 minutes just to make sure the building was safe.
Damn, it does sound like the beginning of a Godzilla movie.
This is what made me think. Acts of nature. In our lifetime, has Acts of Nature ever held up or canceled a wrestling show? In our lifetime. And I think of one, and we were both watching it on pay-per-view.
Acts of Nature?
Acts of Nature.
Well, which one are you referring to? I don't remember.
We were at our friend Jeff's house watching it in your house. I think it was in South Carolina or North Carolina, and they had a nasty, violent rainstorm, which basically shorted out the power.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
Remember
that was a long time ago. Okay.
I think that was the only... And they had to cancel the pay-per-view that night because they couldn't get the show to go.
Right.
I think the only thing that aired was the last match.
Okay.
So, in our lifetimes, 2 times of this. In our lifetime.
All right, well, we'll get to Japan, where the weather was out of control, to the Thunderdome, where the thunder and everything else was in control, unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right, so, Fastlane, what'd you think of it, first of all? 2
matches were good, the rest of it was crap.
Yeah, okay.
Riddle versus Ali, didn't care.
Right.
Didn't care, and it was the destruction of Retribution.
Yeah, that part didn't care. I mean, it was like... That one guy, Skipjack, wasn't he the...
Slapjack.
Wasn't
Slapnuts.
Wasn't he the guy that was a commentator that Brock Lesnar threw through a table and then he never saw him?
No, that's, Mace.
That's Mace, okay, but he...
Big guy with the shreds,
okay. That's right, Slapjack's the taller one, okay, yeah.
No, T-Bar's the taller one. That was Diamond Dijakovic, and the other one is, he was in TM61 in NXT. It's Shane Thorne.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And somebody mentioned on Wrestle Talks, are they going to come back under their other names now?
Who knows? Who cares?
I would like to see Mia Yim come in under Mia Yim.
Right.
Yeah. That was a pre-show, and kind of, we noticed one thing about the pre-show last night.
Mm-hmm.
No Charlie Caruso.
Yep.
From what I'm hearing, she's on her way out. She's been showing up late for shows to do interviews. Where do you think she'll go back to ESPN?
That's probably the best bet, yeah.
Yeah, because that's where they get Renee Young from TSN.
Probably.
Yeah, TSN.
I don't remember.
We're watching Raw right now. We're watching Peyton Royce and her purple hair come in.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But you like it better as blonde or purple?
Good question. It's a toss-up between the blonde and the purple, because when we first saw her, she just had, like, I guess it was like her natural color.
Dark brown hair, yeah.
Yeah.
She has a she has a great YouTube channel called Cassie Versus, because that's her real first name.
Mm-hmm.
And she just basically takes on challenges.
Right.
Mm. Speaking of women, first match on the pay-per-view proper was the women's tag title match. Again, didn't care. I didn't care because everything was so predictable because of Mania coming up.
Well, that's the thing, Chris. I think that's the problem with a lot of these. It's like it's too close. It's too close between pay-per-views, especially before WrestleMania, and all of these things. As I said to you off the air, we could have seen these on Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah.
And I mean, who didn't see those coming? I mean, they were, you know.
We saw it was Reginald was involved like usual. Shenanigans all over the place.
Right.
It turned into a clusterfuck. Nia and Shayna keep the tag belts, and after the match, Sasha calls Bianca a rookie and slaps the taste out of her mouth.
Yeah, I don't know. The feud between Sasha and
Bianca.
You shouldn't have to add extra stuff. That's like taking a pizza and like you have like somebody saying, "Oh, wait a minute, we got to put extra mushrooms, peppers, and all, and like about like 4 or 5 toppings that I can't stand, you know, on it." It's like leave it alone. It was like a good pizza as it was, you know.
Yeah, but
Vince McMahon, he's got to add the mushrooms. So
magic mushrooms.
Yeah.
There's a recent picture of Vince working out at 75, and I heard it looks phenomenal.
I saw that. Yeah, he's
still jacked up.
Well, for a guy
75,
not as much as he used to be, but yeah, for somebody 75, yeah, definitely.
Next match was the IC title match between Big E and Apollo, and the first 2-3 minutes was Apollo squashing him like crazy. I mean, you talk about Suplex City.
Oh yeah, well they've had some good matches, but I mean even before he turned. But
it was like, how do you like to do Apollo character? When he now adds the accent to it.
I think the accent's a little over the top. Especially when, it's kind of like the reverse of Kofi Kingston.
Yeah. Apollo attacks him after the match with 3 angle slams.
Yeah.
So that furthers that feud. So we'll probably get another match at that Mania?
Probably, yeah.
Will it be a gimmick match?
Who knows? That would be a good match. Yeah.
Then we had the clusterfuck that was the Old Spice thing in the back. Who was the guy who was doing the ad with the glasses? He looked very familiar.
I forget. He's in NXT. He is Glussenhammer or something like that.
I forgot his name. Because he was Joe Average or Bill Average?
Joe Average, but he has another name in NXT. I forget who it was.
And it had Tozawa winning the 24. It was a comedy bit for the 24/7 title again, and it traded hands back to R-Truth again. Then we get Strowman against Elias, which I didn't give a shit. Don't care.
Well, you left out the beginning part, which probably a lot of
Shane
people...
McMahon, I don't know if the injury's legit or if it's a work angle, but apparently Shane has a quote-unquote leg injury.
All right. Well, we'll probably find out, much to our chagrin later on.
Yeah, while we're watching Raw, as we're watching right now. We might have a little dissension in the ranks, with Jackson and Elias, because he threw Elias back into the ring rather than take a count out.
Oh, okay.
So we might get some dissension on that tonight.
Yeah,
this is one of the shining points of this night. Was Seth Rollins and Nakamura. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I would agree. Those two, again, they also usually have 2 decent matches.
Are they doing commercials now?
Yeah, we're watching
Miz and Morrison doing commercials.
Yeah, they're at a miniature golf thing, and it's
probably for Miz and Mrs. Oh, they're doing a Monday Night Raw commercial?
Commercial to promote Monday Night Raw.
And he's doing his parkour shit. And he's buying a car. Who cares?
Yeah.
Again, predictable. Nakamura's loss is supposed to be a setup for him and Cesaro.
Right.
Then the match of the, in my opinion, match of the night, Drew versus Sheamus. They beat the living shit out of each other. I mean, you want to talk about taking out half the crowd?
Yeah, pretty much they killed about, I don't know how many people were
TV?
in that part of the Walmart electronics section, but he took a good part of it out, and there were a bunch of sparks, and, you know, bravo Pugsley, yeah.
And Drew wearing the war paint, the Scottish war paint.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, Wallace.
Yeah. Braveheart, whatever.
Braveheart. Then the weird match of the night. Little Miss Bliss versus Randy Orton. Do you want to talk about the?
Well,
go ahead.
Do you really want to call that a match? It's just basically
Bray's return.
It was, well, not only that, but prior to that, pretty much it was like a Tom and Jerry cartoon. It was.
With Harley Quinn, Alexa Bliss.
And Alexa Bliss is Jerry and Orton is Tom.
Yeah.
Or you can either compare it to Tom and Jerry or Roadrunner Coyote, but either way, it's like, since he steps in the ring, he...
Fire?
Well, no, before that, he pukes up the
black?
The exploded Big Pen again, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, as soon as he charges Alexa, yeah, then you had the fire.
Then a fireball.
Then a fireball.
Then went outside and the lights came down. A section of the lights came down. It looked like a haunted house type thing.
Right.
And then he went after her, and all of a sudden a hand came out of the ring. That had to have been taped. Because the main event was afterwards, and there was nothing done to the ring.
Right, yeah. Usually when you have those matches where like somebody comes out of the ring, that's the last match. Because if not, you do what British Bulldog did and hurt himself, it's a trapdoor.
Well, remember at ECW when the ring broke and they taped that off during the last match.
Right.
At least do that. Right?
Yeah, God forbid, yeah. And that would be embarrassing to have the wrestler in the next match after that fall into hell. But anyway. Yes, no. But anyway.
He did the whole Kane thing coming out of the ring.
Yeah. Okay.
Hopefully, we're going to get the payoff match at Mania. They've been waiting for this because that's the big thing. Because Vince is going to squirt all over the screen about this.
Yeah.
Especially if Alexa's wearing cotton panties. Mm. And the other match of the night was Reigns and Dana Bryan. It was really, really good.
Oh, yeah.
And with the clusterfuck, I didn't mind the clusterfuck ending.
With Edge, yeah.
With Edge and Uso.
And, yeah.
Did you hear that they changed the main event of Mania?
It's going to be a triple threat.
It's going to be a triple threat. They added Dana Bryan to it.
Right.
So, could you imagine a promo work going to be from those three this Friday night?
It should be amazing.
It would be amazing. But, pay-per-view wise last night, like I said, maybe 3 matches out of the card were pretty good. The rest of it I could give 2 shits about.
Right. And here's my thing with this, Chris. The fact that it's a COVID era. B, even before COVID with the network, you really stopped having pay-per-views for that company, okay? What? Why do they have to keep having that many cards? It's
supposed to be once a month, like they used to come to the arena.
Well, the reason they did that is because, there was that, and then Bischoff, because it used to be they would have maybe like 3 or 4 pay-per-views a year.
The 4 major ones, yeah.
Right, but then Bischoff kept saying, well, you can do 3, we can do 4, we can do 4, you can do 5, and then they wound up doing it once a month.
It's like that Sean Connery line from The Untouchables.
Mm-hmm.
You send us to the hospital, we'll send you to the morgue.
Oh, my.
Yeah. But
if I did go to the hospital, I would want either of these ladies as nurses. This is actually a pretty good match.
Yeah, because Peyton can work. Peyton can fucking work.
Yes.
I think she's a former Shimmer girl, too.
Yeah.
Nice widow's peak.
Both iconics can work, but anyway.
Well, Billie Kay I've seen as Jessie McKay. What was her gimmick in Shimmer? Everybody's Girlfriend.
Mm.
And she had a stellar 5-star match against Sarah Del Rey, which, again, it depends on who your dance partner is.
Right.
And Sarah's the best female worker in the business, who's now training girls in NXT.
Right.
But like I said, Daniel Bryan, Edge, I wouldn't say who's... Whoa.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say who Your whole thing might be gone. Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. Keep going.
We're not going to do predictions now, but I still say if they send the audience home happy, it's going to be probably Edge.
Very nice. Okay. All right. So,
But I said it was an okay show. I watched Impact.
okay. Well, wait. Before we get to Impact, because I know Impact is I don't even want to describe what you do. Think of Impact, but anyway, we also have that card in Japan that you earthquake. Yeah.
A couple major things that came out of that. Hold on, I'm getting to my notes now. Actually, handwritten notes.
Yep.
The old-fashioned way.
Yeah, written just like an old-fashioned pharmacist. Good job. But anyway.
I have two matches of the card for me. Were both Ospreay, and Will Ospreay was the shit right now. He is a monster heel. He had a match with Zack Sabre Jr.
Right. Okay.
And where Ospreay legit broke his nose, and he's bleeding profusely out of his nose.
Ospreay's nose is broken?
Yeah, nose is broken, and he had to put like a bandana around it because you can't bleed in Japan apparently. They have the same rules there than you do here.
Oh, okay.
You bleed, but you don't...
Solitary Commissioner or what?
I don't know how it's Gato. I don't know how he walks. In the second match of the tournament again is Ospreay and David Finlay. Finlay can work his ass off. That was a great, and they did a whole thing where he hurt his ankle and Ospreay took the boot off and got him in all kinds of ankle locks, and the guy wouldn't give up. And he was doing one-legged shit all over the place.
Oh, wow.
The interesting part was, and I told you this, what were they wearing to the ring? Finjuice wearing to the ring?
You tell me.
The Impact World Tag Team Champions.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And from what I'm hearing, they will defend those belts in Japan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And we got a hint of that maybe with Naito and probably Sonata from LIJ.
Gotcha.
Now, not the final night, but the night before, they had a Tajiro Takahashi and Jay White over the Bullet Club versus Kota Ibushi, Tanahashi, and Okada. In the middle of the match, I'm watching this on delay, and I got the CNN app. And I noticed CNN had said something about an earthquake in Japan. I kind of dismissed it.
Right.
Because they're used to it over there. It's 7 hours. Like, okay, this is a big one. Until I watched the show, it's in Sendai. Sendai is where the earthquake centered at. And it was a 7-2, and you're watching the camera shake, like, uncontrollably, like somebody with who had epilepsy or something.
Right.
Or had a nervous attack. And it's the English commentary team, which they were doing remotely, because Kevin Kelly, I think, was in his home in Pennsylvania. Gino was in Australia, and Chris Samsung, who was in the office. You're right.
We were watching Raw,
and Rhea Rip, the Nightmare, just showed up.
Shortly after
an Asuka squash.
beat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't a squash. It was actually
pretty
good.
good. Oh, I like the new outfit. And she's adding on to the fucking metal face paint now.
Yeah.
Is she a heel if she's going after Asuka?
We'll find out.
We'll find out in a second. But I usually don't watch every show from New Japan because you got 5 shows a week.
Right.
And plus you got your show, the American shows to watch. Plus I got regular TV shows to watch also.
There's a lot of wrestling. I mean, even AEW, I've yet to watch the new Dark Resolution, which also airs on Monday night. And there's something about that and some other shows I want to talk to you about, but we'll get to that later. But
okay. And I mainly watched the finals yesterday. And the finals was Shingo Takagi, who I've showed you Minoru Suzuki.
Right.
Imagine Suzuki 30 years younger.
Oh.
This kid is a hard hitter. They got him from Dragon Gate against Ospreay. And Ospreay won, which was a little bit chicanery with ringside. because B. Priestley kept on running interference.
Ah.
And after the match, there was a promo with Ibushi. Ibushi was doing commentary. He called Ibushi in, and he said something very peculiar before he did what he did. He looked at the belts and his factions there, including Priestley, and basically saying, "I love that more than anything, more than anyone." He turns around and gives his version of the RKO to B. Priestley. B. Priestley, who's he calls it the Oz Cutter. And the backstage promo, the interview segment, he says, "I'm celebrating a single life." And he said to Great O'Connor and Jeff Cobb, says, "Go, let's go to the bar. I'm buying."
Okay.
Being the dick, he's being a total dick heel, and it works for him.
Oh, yeah.
Since he turned on Okada last year. Did he just say something about COVID?
Rhea Ripley, according to this promo, said that Charlotte's recovering from COVID.
Oh.
And that has not been let out. So.
Yeah, well, that could be a work storyline because we'll get to that later.
She pointed to the sign, and Asuka's doing her happy Asuka dance, basically.
In her broken English.
Yeah. Unless she...
I heard outside the character, she's so traditional, soft-spoken Japanese, it's not funny.
All you just got to do is watch Akana-chan on you.
She's very, very soft-spoken.
Yeah.
But, like I said, if you're a fan, if you want to look for something different, other than the American wrestling scene, you're tired of storyline after storyline, watch New Japan. They got a bunch of Road 2 shows to the Genesis. Their Genesis event in Sakura, which is going to be Ospreay versus Kota Ibushi for the title.
Well, see, that's the thing with New Japan. That's kind of where they're kind of polarizing a little bit. Because the biggest criticisms with New Japan is there is no seemingly psychology or storyline.
It's just match.
Right. Which
you got to remember, Gato is booking, and these Road 2 shows basically set up feuds because you have tag. It's like Gato turning Teddy Long and just tag matches all over the place. What was this?
We have Drew talking to
the not general manager, Ryder Pierce. The thing that I've noticed for the past 2 weeks, and remember, I'm saying 2 weeks, no gorillas. The Tongans have not been on the shows.
And what usually happens in 2 weeks?
Quarantine.
Right.
So do you think we're going to see a gorilla interrupt us? Because they got to be at the Sakura show on April 4th.
Right.
To defend the tag belts. Do you think they'll show up Wednesday night?
I don't know about Wednesday night. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see them very soon, though.
Well, they just did a bunch of tapings of Impact. And if they do show up anywhere, they would show up at Impact.
Right.
First and foremost, just to attack the Good Brothers, because that's what their main target's been on Twitter. That and Kenny. But overall, good show. It was a 2.5 hour show. Most of their shows are 2.5 hours. You're in and out, man. You're in and out.
Oh, well, that is definitely a welcome change, especially since we mentioned about WrestleMania a couple years ago being an 8-hour show. And now this year, as did last year, they had to do 2 nights of it.
Yeah, well, that was the COVID era, and they're still doing 2 nights this year with crowd. 25,000 tickets have been sold already.
Right. And Vinnie Mac is trying to get them to sell more, but, even the Florida governors, don't press your luck, because...
I don't care how much money you give me.
Yeah. Well, especially since that you had spring breakdown in other parts of Florida and COVID.
Yeah, I heard about Miami being shut down, curfew and all that.
Yep.
Well, we all know the story behind why wrestling is working in Florida during this entire time, because DeSantis took $18 million. His campaign took $18 million from Linda McMahon.
Right.
And basically saying that's bribery. That's bribery money. I don't care what you say. That's bribery money.
Right, but it wound up being good for the wrestling industry as a whole.
Especially, do you think Tony Khan contributed to that a little bit?
I don't know if he contributed to it. I think he
benefited from it.
I think he benefited from it.
Yeah.
Because not just them, MLW's been recording their shows in Orlando, even though for a while they weren't doing anything. They were
I'm hearing Shine's restarting their shows up because they're in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hearing a bunch of indies all around the country are starting their promotions.
Well, down south, and I'll definitely talk to you about. There's two of them actually I was watching today. I'll mention. There's one I mentioned on the show last week, but there's another one I'll talk to you about as well. But yeah, it's especially since recently in Texas they actually ended their mask mandate. So I actually watched part of a pay-per-view that a company called SWE did this Saturday, and there were no masks in the crowd.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was pretty. It didn't look like it was that many people in the venue, and might have been. They may have spaced it out for social distancing, but still.
You hear that in the background? Out in the far distance, you see Dr. Fauci's head spin like Beetlejuice.
Yeah. Well. Good. Play that funky music, white boy.
So, like I said, after that. We can go to Impact if you want, because I mean, because that's what we're.
No, we were. Hold on, Chris. We didn't. We got to get to Raw because we want to talk about Andrade and then just what we.
Oh yeah, a week ago he asked for his release. He got denied. I turned on Facebook at 5 o'clock this morning when I was getting ready for work, and it must have happened just after the pay-per-view last night. It granted him his release. Charlotte has been taken off. I think you just got shut down.
Yeah.
Charlotte has been taking off all the promo posters of Raw. I mean, of WrestleMania. She's been taking off everything, and she is going to be taping a remake of Walking Tall over in for USA Network. It's a movie version.
Now, what? Now, is she going to be the role that Bo Svenson and The Rock played, or is it?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know what's going on. I honestly don't know what's going on.
No. All right. Well, okay. So Raw last week was basically the go-home show for Fastlane, which we really I don't think there was anything. It was just more set up for the feed, more set up for.
Like I said, I made my notes for that, and
let's see, what
was the notes I wrote during that, because I was at Buddy John's, and it's like the beginning of Raw was why is Miz even part of this, and Morrison part of the whole Lashley Sheamus Drew thing in the beginning of last week?
Well, I mean, how WWE used to be. I mean, he was a former champion. He should get a rematch, but yeah, it's like whatever.
Do you want to talk about the guitar shot on Bad Bunny last week?
It was
a love tap.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it definitely was not Warner Brothers, Bugs Bunny quality guitar bumps. That's for damn sure. And I wrote down on my Raw notes from last week, no Charlotte at all. None. Right. And we may have found out why. I don't know if this is kayfabe or not. Yeah. But... or if Andrade is code for COVID. Andrade must be code for COVID. That was the only noticeable thing. And it looks like they're setting up maybe Lana and Naomi to go after the tag titles. That's another thing. No Bayley. We didn't see Bayley last week on SmackDown at all. Ding dong, where are you, Bayley? Milk carton. She's at catering. She's at catering. Now, I'm going to do this in order. I watched Impact Tuesday. All right. We had Team Triple XL, Larry D and AC Romero versus Finjuice. Finjuice did a promo afterwards. It was a squash match, saying they're going to Japan. They won't be back till the pay-per-view, and basically saying we're going to take the belts with us. Right. Which they did. It was a good match. Then we had a Sami Callihan promo, basically dumping on Trey Miguel, saying he doesn't have the passion for this. Scott D'Amore did a backstage promo with Tommy Dreamer. Their next streaming special is going to be called Hardcore Justice, which is going to be April 10th. It's a streaming-only special from the Impact streaming site app, if you have it, or on Fight TV. And they're going to let Tommy Dreamer run the whole show. So it's going to be nothing but hardcore matches.
I said they did this. They did a sort of kind of ECW reunion show before One Night Stand.
Right.
With all the old ECW names showing up.
Gotcha.
Then we had Rhino, Violent by Design. Rhino is he's with Violent by Design now against Jake something, who used to be Jake Diener.
Right.
Cousin Jake. And Rhino won with gore. And nothing this. Then they had a knockouts promo with Tenille. With Tenille, it was towards the end, there was a 12-woman tag match. I mean, basically the entire knockout division was in this tag match. It was a clusterfuck ending, and I don't even know. I didn't even read. Team ODB won. Mm-hmm. And Willie Mack did a backstage promo with Rich Swann. The other promo that was on here that wasn't. I didn't write it down. Was with Don Callis coming out with Rich Swann, and basically said, "You have those 3 words in your head since Hard to Kill. One Wing Angel." Because he did beat Rich in that 6-man at Hard to Kill. With the One Wing Angel. He says, you cannot beat the One Wing Angel. And even he was telling about how he was the one who did the hiring for Rich Swann and Impact, because he is one of the brains behind Impact. And it was it was a Don Callis promo. What you were expecting a Don Callis promo and saying Kenny Omega's got among insects, basically.
By the way, I like that T-shirt that he gave the Young Bucks.
Oh, slapping the knee?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah.
And the main event was Sami Callihan versus Trey Miguel. We had, what did Dusty Rhodes call the toys? Plunder. We had Plunder in the ring. And Trey Miguel won. Like I said, it was your average Impact show. It was your average Impact show.
All right.
Now, NXT. I rewatched this because my feed kept on cutting up Wednesday night. I was like, what is it with John Morrison in the 80s mullet?
Who knows? Who cares?
He looks like something from a music video, a Little Boy video.
I think he goes to the same barber that Brian Pillman Jr. goes to.
Yeah. We had Finn Balor carry a cross promo at the beginning, in which basically Scarlett talked the tag champs into a tag title match against Balor and Cross by just caressing them.
Right.
If you saw that.
I saw that, yeah.
At least they gave her something to say. Is she like a fortune teller character now? Or is she just a goth chick going completely out of control?
Who knows? But I don't know. Go through the card. I got some comments about this.
Dexter Lumis versus Austin Theory. Again, because of the outbreak that they had in NXT, some of the matches were scrapped. They had Leo Rush, Lee Rush or whatever his name is, against Swerve Scott, and that had been scrapped because they were tested positive. They were supposed to have Tommaso. No, they were supposed to have Thatcher against one of the Imperium guys, but that got scrapped because Thatcher got tested positive. Dexter Lumis versus Austin Theory. Did you notice Austin Theory's tights?
No.
Wolverine.
Okay.
They were gifts from Gargano. Matter of fact, they did a Zoom with Theory because they probably got tested positive.
Jeez.
Then we had, and it was a Dexter Lumis match. He put him to sleep with the silence.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Cole, baby, did an awesome promo on Kyle O'Reilly where Rico came out and said O'Reilly wasn't there, he's not medically clear, he's not even allowed in the building. Mm-hmm. And further down the road, something happened outside where you see both of them getting arrested. I don't know what happened, maybe a traffic accident or a road rage incident or some shit, where they're both getting arrested and Rico's supposed to make an announcement soon, probably at TakeOver. They're going to have maybe a first ever Hell in a Cell NXT match, probably. I don't know, some kind of gimmick match between the two. Then they had Shotzi and Ember do an interview, and I forgot what the interview was about, but I think Aaliyah, Robert Stone's 2 girls came out and tried to challenge them for the belts. For the NXT Women's Tag Title, which you say you have a problem with that, right?
Well, I did last week, but that's not what my issue is. Okay, getting up to that point.
Escobar and Jordan Devlin? Or
No,
Breezango or Team Escobar?
Okay, before all that,
Yeah.
this show, you can say all you want about the COVID. I don't know. I'm starting to sour on NXT, and I'll tell you why. They're starting to turn more into WWE. You're starting off with a 20 or 30-minute promo.
Yeah.
You're rehashing old angles where it's like you have people fighting for the belt that are baby faces joining together to try to win the tag belts. They lose, they fight. Seen this movie over and over again.
Here's the thing. This is what I heard. One of the people that has to stay at home for 2 weeks is Hunter.
Yeah.
Sean and Road Dogg ran those shows. So if there's any problems, you blame those two.
There was a big outbreak at that place, so...
Yeah, Sean and Road Dogg were running shows. Usually Hunter's the be-all, end-all there. Or here's the weak guitar shot. The weakest guitar El Kabong I've ever seen in my life. Next to Snoop
Mrs. No Honky Tonk Man, that's for damn sure.
And he sold it like he got hit by a shot.
Well, he probably did for him.
Because I probably got...
Should have hit him in the Mickey Mouse bun ears on his head, you know. That probably would have absorbed the blow a little better, but anyway.
This is probably to set up that tag match at Mania. Zoe Stark, who is a fucking joy to watch right now. The new against Dakota Kai. Great match.
Yeah.
After the match, Io shows up. Slaps the contract right in Raquel Gonzalez's chest. And walks away.
Yeah.
Okay. But and then Raquel was like considering signing it. Then Dakota said, "We still got team stuff to do together. Can you put that on the back shelf for a little while?"
Right.
I think there's going to be a dissension between those two.
Right.
Escobar and Devlin, because Jordan Devlin shows up after the whole quarantine thing. And we'll get to that too against with the Imperium, because somebody else shows up.
Right. And I want to comment about what happened when that person showed up. Go ahead. So.
We are going to have a takeover, a title unification, because before the outbreak, before the pandemic hit, Jordan Devlin was legit cruiserweight champion. They had to make an interim champion to defend here in the States, and that was Santos Escobar when he won the tournament and took off the mask. Oh, no. No. Goddamn no. Describe what we're seeing.
They were showing highlights of how they attacked Bugs Bunny and Mohawk Duck, okay? Daffy Mohawk, I'll call him.
Okay.
And they're basically saying the whole thing was they wanted to do a rap song with Bugs Bunny, and Bugs Bunny rejected them. So now they're doing their own, they made their own hip-hop
video.
And they made their logo where they have characters of Miz and Morrison as bunnies.
They dressed in bunny outfits.
Well, I mean, when is the Easter's coming up? So I guess maybe they're doing that for...
Then we had Tommaso Ciampa versus one of the guys from Imperium. I forgot. Was it Martel?
It was the guy in the tracksuit.
Which one? Yeah. They're interchangeable because it's Eichner. He was either Eichner or the other guy.
Right.
After the match, Tommaso, was it Tommaso won? Yeah, Tommaso won.
Yeah.
Then the music hits, and you want to tell who showed up?
Walter.
Capital letters, Walter.
Is he still UK
champion? He's been over 700 days.
Yeah.
Walter chopped the shit out of him.
Right.
Walter is this, if you don't watch NXT UK, Walter is this big Austrian guy, and I put the emphasis on the word big. He's like what, 6'3", 6'4"?
And it's no wonder they made him the NXT UK champion, because before Vince decided to gobble up the territories in the UK, he was a champion. Well, I don't know if he was a champion there, but he did wrestle for Defiant, a.k.a. What Culture Pro Wrestling, and also for let's see, I think it was...
Did he ever go to the Rev Pro?
Yeah, I think he did go to Rev Pro. What was the other big one? Is it IWC or...
Yeah.
I forget. But anyway, he wrestled at several territories there, and I think also wrestled in Germany as well. But,
yeah.
So, he's a big deal in Europe, and he's a big deal
guy.
here.
He's a big guy. Then we had the LA Knight's first match.
Yeah.
L.A. Let me talk to you. Again, I like the loudmouth gimmick. I never thought much of him as a worker because his finishers were lame.
Right.
They're building up between him and Bronson Reed.
Okay.
Which, yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
They're starting him in the bottom level and working his way up. If you go by that. I like how Bronson put on his nice jacket and tore it to shreds.
All right.
Yeah, you're a babyface. Why are you doing heel shit?
Mm-hmm.
Now, and the last match was the tag title match, which, did you watch?
Yeah, I saw that.
Is Birch legit hurt? Danny Birch legit hurt? Because Lorcan worked worked that match.
Nah, I doubt it.
Because if you watch, during this match, Karrion Kross did a double suplex on both of them, and it looked like Birch landed wrong. He may have gotten a stinger.
Right.
And Orny Lorcan, Biff Bison, what was his name in CCW? Biff Bison.
Yeah.
He was former CCW champion. Pretty good worker, matter of fact. Basically carried the match while the medical staff, and I think the injury was legit.
Right.
And they lost because of chicanery, discommunication between Kross and Balor, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
And then Kross turned on Balor like we knew he was going. You said it again. We've seen this movie before.
Right, exactly. They're turning more and more into a regular WWE brand, unfortunately, and I don't like what I'm seeing.
Well, maybe after TakeOver, maybe it'll settle down. I don't know.
We'll see.
What was it? What did Scarlett said to Balor as the show ends? You can't escape, or something about fate.
Can't escape fate.
Can't escape fate.
Yeah, it was pretty much. She was kind of like saying what we just said, Chris. You should have seen it coming. And it's like, come on. Yeah, we did see it coming. That's the problem.
Yeah, and like I said, it was an average NXT show compared to what we saw the other show, which we were getting to right now.
Well, here's the thing with AEW. Lately, their cards, good or bad, you kind of feel like a card might be, if it has a bad ending, you might feel like might be an otherwise good card, but you feel like it's worse because of the bad ending.
Yeah.
I think the opposite was true with this episode of Dynamite.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was bad per se, but I mean, that main event, good Lord.
Yeah, well,
Almighty.
like I said, Wrestle Talk, they said the main event saved the show. And he gave it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah. And of course, everybody liked it except for our favorite Louisville Slugger.
Well, we could get to...
Yeah. We'll get to it.
I'll still call him Pentagon Jr. versus Cody. Was actually pretty good.
That was a good match. Yes, I agree.
Were you the one who said, or was it my friend Wilkes said, Cody's the new Hunter?
No, it's probably Will.
The Young Bucks jumped down Callis backstage stuff with the T-shirt was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Jade Cargill, don't give a shit about her. I don't care.
I don't know.
She's not a good worker. She's not a good worker, and her promos are just robotic.
She's green, but she's athletic. I think the right dance partner
green?
with her.
She's not. She's still in the ground.
No, but we've seen worse, especially in that company.
Yeah. Against a chopper. Then MJF and the new faction came out.
Well, you left out what happened after that. She's trying to set up the feud. She went
with Red Velvet, yeah.
Yeah, so
because Red Velvet is if Dark Elevation, they said she was AEW Wrestler of the Week was Red Velvet.
Yeah, oh yeah. She's really good, but she's usually like you said, she's usually on Dark or on the new show Dark.
Well, like I said, MJF again, 24 years old, the best heel in the business, can cut a promo as good as Kingston.
Right.
If not better than Kingston.
Oh, I balk at that, actually. No, he's good as establishing himself. MJF is probably best as far as like keeping in character and keeps a promo to definitely manipulate your feelings. And I don't know, Kingston might be even better than that, than him in that. But
Yeah.
MJF is still damn good, though.
Yeah. But, what was their new faction called? The Pinnacle?
The Pinnacle, yeah.
I like how they took over the Inner Circle's locker room. You notice, no Inner Circle whatsoever this
Which
week.
I didn't like, but, maybe it's...
Just to sell it a little bit,
Yeah.
so that they really are hurt, because Hager took that little bit of bubbly kind of hard.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if, some locker room, man. It looks like a skybox in the Jaguar Stadium. I wonder if that's where Jim Ross invites his buddies to watch the games, but...
Yeah. The next match was... I can only imagine what you were thinking about this.
What's that?
Jurassic Express and Bear Country against Team Hardy.
Ah, jeez.
But it looks like we're going to have Bear Country versus Jurassic Express because it looks like dissension in the ranks there.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Bear Country...
Battle of the Zoo.
Yeah, I mean, they're not even like Yogi Bear and Boo Boo. They're more like two Barney the Bear. It's like basically...
The Bernstein Bears.
Yeah. And it's like you had two Wookiees and then you had the little Ewok Marco Stunt. That little shit. Mm-hmm. Hey, I mean, I swear to... I mean, I was kind of... I laughed when they did throw him, though, and I think that was a botch on their part.
Like I said, Matt Hardy, what do you think of the new Big Money Matt faction? With the actual edition of Butcher and Blade?
I don't know. I mean, I like Butcher and Blade. I don't see them fitting with...
Matt?
Well, with Matt or with Private Party either. It's just...
It's apples and oranges?
Yeah.
Motor oil and ice
cream. It's just like, okay, we're all heels, so we should be a team. And it's like, I don't know. I don't see the reason other than, Matt Hardy's trying to channel his inner Captain Lou, I guess. I don't know. Or Bobby Heenan.
He's almost 50 now, and he's probably looking at his twilight years in his career right now. He's just going to be less and less in the ring.
He probably started seeing him when he bumped his head falling off that scaffold in that one pay-per-view we saw.
Speaking of which, we're seeing his dipshit brother right now.
Yeah. Against the other dipshit, the dipshit WB Frog, yeah.
The man who's married to a hot Canadian wife.
Mm.
Then we had the Christian Cage interview, which basically, before the interview, the cleaner girls come out. Remember that?
Yeah.
And it looks like Christian's getting a world title shot right on the shoot. Do you agree with that?
Well, he's trying to sell it like he's not. He's saying he's going to work his way up and all that, but...
remember, when he came to the old TNA, they gave him the world title shot right away. Mm. And they are using his old TNA music.
Right, yeah, you said that last week.
Yeah, it's like... Then we had Kingston and Mox versus the Good Brothers. Your turn.
Well, Kingston and Mox had a good promo, but for the most part, the Good Brothers were slapping around, both of them, especially Kingston. Moxley, is trying to wrestle with one arm. He's a slot machine right now. Yeah, yeah. He's a one-legged dunking and ass-kicking contest. Pretty much.
And the other thing that I came away with was when they were trying to Pillmanize. They Pillmanized his leg, Kingston's leg. They tried to Pillmanize his head.
Well, no, they tried to Pillmanize Moxley's head.
Moxley's head. That's when the Young Bucks came out.
They came out and they were going to the Good Brothers who were doing all this stuff with the chairs, and they were like, whoa, what are you guys doing? We're friends. Why are you doing this? All this kind of stuff. And then, while they were attempting to Pillmanize, Veretica came out, started dancing he's like at a 70s disco to his own theme music. Yeah. And he tried to get the Young Bucks to do Too Sweet Salute, and
the Bucks walked away.
So.
Isn't this what Kenny came? Was it Christian 2 weeks ago or last week came out when had the belt in his hands?
No, that was a week before.
Okay, that was a week before. So that teases that.
Oh wait! No! You're right. I think that was last week. I apologize.
Yeah, but Christian holding the belt and just.
No! I'm sorry. It was the week before because he held that up because it ended with the Young Bucks and Moxley.
Then we had the Darby Sting interview, which of course Sting can't get a word edgewise because somebody has to interfere.
Yep.
And then you had Brian Cage come out with Tatum Taz and basically give Sting props, which looks like Cage is breaking apart. Now we see a decent guitar shot. Mm-hmm.
From the bunny.
From the bunny. I told you he had rabbit problems. And he's selling it like a champ. He's selling it like a champ.
Yeah.
But we had maybe dissension in Team Taz with Brian Cage?
Maybe. He can spin it either way. Either that or it'll just be a ruse. But
like I said, when he was in Impact, he was a total babyface.
Yeah.
So he can work babyface.
Well, on the one tape that I got from wrestling, CD I got from Wrestling Crate, he was a babyface, I think, in Bar. He wrestled Chris Statlander.
Yeah.
And what also might be a tip-off that he might be a babyface, too, when he was in that promotion, he wore a shirt, he dressed as Wolverine.
Well,
he called himself a Swolverine. And that's what he wore in AEW last week.
And you might wear he called himself that in Impact also.
Yeah.
Then we had Lance Archer show up with Jake Roberts coming down on Sting, which I got a feeling this is for those who don't know, and I know they can't get the footage, is back in '93, Sting had a match at Halloween Havoc against Jake Roberts. And it was a spin the wheel, make the deal match, if you remember correctly.
I do. I used to have that on VHS, actually.
And Sting beat Roberts with a coal miner's glove. Is this Roberts sticking his monster after Sting as a revenge thing, even after all this time?
Probably. Well, that and his monster wanting the title anyway, so.
Yeah. But, the TNT title. Next was Angelico versus Phoenix. Fantastic match.
I agree. That was a good
Phoenix
match.
can work with anybody.
And then Angelico has some good matches, too.
Yeah.
Usually,
he's more ground-based and submission guy.
And more of a tag team guy, but yeah.
And then we had the mirror interview, which looks like he's breaking apart with
Kip Sabian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then afterwards, the match everybody's talking about.
It was the Lights Out match. Hold on a second.
Hold on. We can't have this. Copyright.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, sir, ladies and gents. Hopefully we don't get shut down by the Mech Man.
Well, no, we won't, because we're recording this and we'll be editing.
Okay.
Anyway, before we were rudely interrupted by the New Day, we were going to discuss, it was the Lights Out match.
Anything goes, falls count anywhere. They want balls out. I mean,
yeah.
I gave you the question after that match, and I watched it twice.
Yeah.
We know in real life, Britt Baker and Adam Cole are a real life couple.
Mm-hmm.
Who's better now? I mean, Britt has stepped up her game in the last 4 months.
I think Britt has improved more than Cole has, and that's only because Cole's been at a high level.
Yeah.
So, I think Baker stepped up her game and she's learning more and more. And plus, she had a good dance partner.
Yeah. And Thunder Rosa can work with anybody.
She can.
And, like I said, what did we see? We saw tables. We saw ladders. We saw chairs.
Crutches.
And to go back to our old friend from XPW, thumbtacks.
Sometimes inviting crutch.
Yeah. We saw thumbtacks.
Yeah.
And Britt Baker with that sick smile of hers, which gave me chills.
Somebody has to teach her how to blade, though. I mean, she looked like Carrie.
Well, there was a picture she posted on Instagram or Twitter of her and her brother, and they showed her with a little bit of bandages up around the hairline. That's where she got cut.
Right.
Was it a blade, or was it because of the ladder?
That's a good question. I mean, no, I think it was. I don't think it was hard way. I think they just did some tricks with some photography, while Reba was messing with Thunder Rosa or something.
And even Rosa was bleeding. I don't know as badly as.
No, she wasn't nearly as bad.
Britt was Ric Flair bleeding.
She was. Like I said, she looked like Sissy Spacek and Carrie.
Yeah. Did it elevate both girls? That it needed to.
Tension-wise, I'd say yes.
Did it elevate the women's division that they sorely needed?
They seem to think it did. We'll see on that.
We'll see. Yeah, so wait and see after tonight, tomorrow night on Dark, and on Wednesday.
It was definitely an improvement for a lot of what the women's division does. I mean, they tried a lot of things that tried to stick to the wall and miss. And I'm sorry. I mean, they are way too dependent on some of those Japanese girls. If they're going to get some women who look like they're signs of adult athletic women, okay? They don't get girls that look like they're 10 years old.
Like Riho.
Like Riho or Maki Ito, No girls with, toothpick arms and doilies around their wrists, okay? I'm sorry. No.
This match even got Uncle Dave's attention, and he gave it a Meltzer 5-star.
Yep. And then our other uncle, Tim, however, he gave it a half a star. He went Holy Grail and farted in the general direction of it. Mainly
because it's not 1985. That's why.
Well, he said they could have done it slightly differently.
Maybe I'm surely slightly.
Yeah, they could have done it with the blood, where they made it look like it was just part of the action, as far as with the chair or with the ladders. They didn't have. Thought the thumbtacks were much, which I agree. That's
they wanted to prove that they could do what the guys could do.
Right, but he did make a point that I agree with, though, where it's like you have 120-pound girls that can do superplexes onto chairs, but then you have 270-pound guys. What they're going to have to do? He's like, what are you going to do? Drop a battleship on them? And,
pretty much.
Yeah, especially you have a lot of those guys. That are under 200 pounds and under 5 feet tall. And
Darby Allin.
Yeah, and although Darby Allin now, he at least can bump and he can lay in some. He does look like he can fight every now and then.
Yeah.
But you have Pockets, and you have Peter Avalon, and you have
and Marco.
And Michael Naka.
Keep him off the TV.
Keep him back. Yeah, keep him back to Darka. Okay,
yeah.
Keep him there. Stay there. And the Marco stunts and these little shits like that. I'm sorry. No.
Did you watch the backstage interview, the post-show backstage stuff after that match?
I did. I saw that.
Who was the first person to greeted them backstage?
Tony Khan, and followed by Overratiga, who manages.
Sheeta was the first person.
Well, no. She greeted Thunder Rosa, but before that,
when Baker came back.
Yeah. Now, you asked before if it elevated anybody. More people are talking about what Britt Baker did than what Thunder Rosa did. And Thunder Rosa won the goddamn match.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see how they play it off this week.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's all right, sir. It's all right.
I'm not worried about it. You don't have to comment on it, Chris. Continue. The more you do it, the more I got to add it.
But like I said, I agree with Meltzer. I have no problems with this match whatsoever. None.
Yeah. No, I thought it was excellent. It was really good, and
it saved the show.
I wouldn't go that far, and I wouldn't say it saved the show. The show was okay, but it's. Yeah. Things a pain in the ass.
Treatment uses smart.
Okay.
All
right, so
about editing, but it was spectacular. I can't wait to see what goes beyond that.
And I think that's the point that Cornette was trying to make.
Exactly.
How are they going to top that? And I hope they don't try to. I hope they just. One nice thing about it was I thought it was an old school end to a feud. How a lot of Southern.
It was a blood feud, yeah.
Yeah. And usually it used to be you would see a match like that in a cage, but you didn't need that, and that was fine. And I'm sure you saw the meme that I sent you regarding where they had the picture of Kenny Omega saying the women's match was more of a death match than his death match.
Yeah. Like I said, kudos to both girls. And what did Britt say on Twitter? She's like, "You couldn't kill me, still face of the women's division."
Yeah.
And she's still selling it on Twitter and on social media, which I applaud her for. Rosa, I think, worked Mission Pro that Friday.
Rosa's a workhorse. I was actually watching a show a match on YouTube earlier against Priscilla Kelly. I'll talk to the. It was shown in the channel of this new promotion. It was. An ad for the end of. Oh, they're making the Hall of Fame. That's what that's all about.
Yeah, CarMax. Yeah, that's right.
No, she did a match against Priscilla Kelly. It was from Championship Hollywood. It was when they were doing the empty arena shows.
Yeah.
But it was on the channel for Championship Wrestling from Memphis, the third of the United Wrestling Network shows. They already have Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, Championship Wrestling from Arizona. Now they're doing it in Memphis.
Yep.
And they even interviewed King Cobra on one episode, actually inside the Mid-South Coliseum, which...
Yeah.
But, I mean, they're trying to start a new territory there, so...
Now, do you want to get on to Friday night?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, you want to talk about this real quick?
Oh, yeah, we have some inductees to the Hall of Fame.
Sleazy E.
Sleazy E for this year. Now, you remember last year, they did not have a ceremony for the 2020 Hall of Fame.
And who's getting in last year? The NWO.
So now we're older, yeah.
Now, there were talks around who should induct Bischoff. He was Hogan.
Yeah.
No, you know what it should be? Vince. Who was kicking Vince's ass for 83 straight weeks? Bischoff.
Yeah.
Should be Vince.
Maybe Vince. You know who would be funny as hell if they had? Russo.
Oh,
you know that'll
never happen.
Yeah.
Never.
Also, they had Cornette, which would also never happen.
Well, Cornette inducted the Rock and Roll Express a couple years ago, and that was Cornette's last appearance with the WWE.
Yeah, and ever since he's been banned from the Walmart electronics section.
Yeah. Who should induct? And the other name they announced this year, Molly Holly.
Yep.
I have no problem with Molly.
None whatsoever. And of course, you know they have a format. It's like they have an old promoter. They have a tag team. They have a woman. They have a person of color. They have a posthumous award. So
they should give it. If they want to do a posthumous award.
Well, they already announced that. You forget.
Who was it?
Bulldog.
Bulldog. It should have been Crockett.
Yeah.
Should have been Crockett.
That might be for next year.
Before we go on, we forgot to do something at the beginning of this show. We lost a friend of ours.
Oh, okay.
We lost a friend of ours named Al Alberts. Ring announcer Alton Alberts. We both know this guy real well. He was ring announcer for MEWF also. Mm-hmm. MEWF and MCW and all the local indie feds. He also did Wrestle Talk America with Doc on terrestrial radio.
Yeah.
I found out when I was leaving work Saturday. His son posted it on Facebook. It could be complications from COVID. I'm not making it sure.
Right.
I only know he was rushed to the hospital Friday night with breathing problems. I want to dedicate the show in his honor. He was a good friend to us. He was a good guy to us.
Yeah.
He's always been good for us. He used to go to the pay-per-view parties at Jazz Caddy Shack when I used to go out there for when Justin from 98 Rock hosted them.
Right.
And he was also at, last time I saw him and his wife was at Jimmy's. And it's sad that he lost his wife a year before.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, brother. Rest in peace. I mean, it's just become a weekly thing for us now.
Well, yeah, rest in peace to condolences to his family and everybody who remembered him fondly at announcing the matches and on the radio.
And what did Doc always call him? Fat Boy.
Yeah.
He wasn't. And the last time I saw him was a month. I was grocery shopping. I saw him a month ago, and he looked like he was in the peak of health.
Right.
Moving on, and it's not a good segue.
Yeah.
I want to talk about SmackDown. You watched it Friday night.
Yeah.
I can run down the card right here. Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax, which looks like we're going to have a dissension between Nia and Shayna now.
Again, well, Yeah, that was the whole thing. It was a setup for the match at Fastlane. It was
Which
both
looks like
teams
more
have grumbling
decision,
tag team members. Yeah.
Well, how did they? It's like enemies that became friends when they first had the feud.
Right.
Sasha won, and it turned into a whole thing with her and Bianca again.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had the Edge interview, didn't care. Rollins interview that turned into... No, Rollins didn't have a match. He just did a promo. And didn't Cesaro come out?
I thought Shinsuke came out.
Shinsuke came out. And that's set up for the match for Fastlane, because this was the go-home show to Fastlane.
Right.
Then we had the Street Profits versus the Mysterios. Didn't care.
Not really, no.
Then we had the Mysterios versus Alpha Academy. Didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had something that I thought was interesting. The backstage segment with Owens and Zayn.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to get Steen and Generico back together again. And we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Then we had the Daniel Bryan Roman promo, which 80% of the show was promos.
Yeah.
I think we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches, 5, 6 matches on the entire show.
Mm-hmm.
And after the Daniel Bryan Roman promo, what was the commercial ad for King Corbin and Sami Zayn? It was the least anticipated match in WWE history.
Right.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I want more of that. It showed they had a sense of humor. Again, King Corbin, the mid-card vortex.
Mid-card and mid-card, yeah.
Against Sami Zayn. When Owens was on commentary, Zayn lost, and Zayn went over to Owens and said, "Did you see?" He tried to say something about the referee, and Owens like, "I didn't see nothing wrong," and he Luva kicked Owens. So that sets up Mania. We're going to see Owens versus Zayn, which I could see.
Yeah.
I could watch. I love that. Then we had another Big E Apollo thing, which involved golf carts.
You're right.
Didn't care.
No, that was it was kind of funny. That wasn't as bad.
And Bianca Shayna got thrown out because we had a team of Natty and Tamia show up.
Nobody's Mina.
We got. What's this? Hold on a second. Oh, this is Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat.
Which I'm going to see. Yes, I am. R-rated, by the way, with fatalities.
Hopefully, it's a hard R, which is the first one should have been.
Yeah. Then we had Edge versus Jey Uso, which, again, predictable. The winner was supposed to be the enforcer.
Yeah.
And what is the duties of an enforcer?
To back up the other referee.
Yeah, because the first time we ever heard that was Mike Tyson. Usually
an enforcer is a guy outside of the ring to, basically almost like a lumberjack more than anything. Kind of like, the earliest example I've heard of this, at least in WWE, I'm sure NWE's probably done with matches before them, because WWE copies off of them a lot.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 1, when you had Pat Patterson as the referee and you had Muhammad Ali as the outside the ring guy.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I remember that, yeah. But the first time I ever heard the word enforcer was Mike Tyson. What WrestleMania was that?
Was 19? It 20?
19?
It was the one that Austin won the belt, right?
Yeah, 13.
Right.
Was it 13? Or 13 or 14?
I don't remember, but...
Speaking of Austin, you just reminded me of something. A lot of people are comparing Britt Baker's performance to the Austin face turn against Bret Hart. With the blood.
Well, they haven't turned her yet, though.
They haven't turned her yet, but they're comparing that moment when she smiled and the whole thing.
Because of the blood.
The blood, yeah. And I wouldn't say that.
No, because it was different with Austin. Austin, he was showing guts. He was in a submission and he passed out trying not to give up.
Yeah.
But there was a clear winner in that match. It was different. That's apples and oranges.
But
although I've also seen some memes where they kind of somebody was calling her Britt Foley.
Well, I wouldn't say that. She would have exploded.
Somebody made a meme where they put her face on Mankind's body and they called her Britt Foley, and she actually retweeted it.
Somebody posted on Cult of Kayfabe the coronavirus symbol that looks like the soccer ball thing.
Yeah.
On China's body, which I thought was bad taste.
Yeah.
Other than that, that was it for the rundowns of the shows. Andrade is getting he is not getting a no complete clause. He can go anywhere he wants now. Do you think he'll show up Wednesday night in Jacksonville?
I thought he was getting the 90-day.
No, he got the no. No. That's what I'm hearing. No.
I don't know. I mean, recent patterns would probably say yes, but
He might go back to Mexico?
I think he'll probably go back to like AAA
Or
CMML, or maybe in Japan before he goes to AEW. I think AEW is kind of like whoa, time. We can't keep getting more old WWE.
Do you think
people.
his style would be good for New Japan?
Probably be better for Mexico, honestly, but
He could be part of Los
Igno, yeah.
Yeah, them, yeah. I can't pronounce it. Sorry.
Li.
Li. The original version in Mexico?
Yeah.
That Rush. Or could you see him in Ring of Honor? Because Rush is the leader of that faction, and he's the Ring of Honor champ.
Yeah, you could see them there, although you haven't seen too much of Ring of Honor, period. I mean, you see just tape stuff like a lot of the other...
Well, they just did a bunch of tapings in what they call the bubble.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, Angelina Love did a video for Twitter saying she was in Baltimore for the tapings. And she said, matter of fact, she promoted Jimmy's seafood. Because Johnny Crab Cakes, the wrestlers love him.
Oh, yeah,
the wrestlers love him. They're probably for free food, that's why. But I have not, again, I have stated this before, and I'll state it again. I have not watched a Ring of Honor show since the Garden Show 2 years ago, when they basically crapped the bed for me. When they put the belt on tape.
Chris, that's not true. We went to a Ring of Honor show. There's a poster right in front of you. You're an old senile fuck, I swear.
I am an old, grumpy old man.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I have not paid attention to the shows.
Right.
I know they got the anniversary show coming up. Do I care? No.
Okay.
Not at all. Not at all. You want to talk about Marty being edited out of New Japan Strong from L.A.?
I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
Marty Scurll showed it up at New Japan for their L.A. tapings at their dojo. At the Strong shows for the American audiences. Did he just do Trouble in Paradise on Kofi?
Yeah, go back to Marty Scurll.
Marty showed up, did a bunch of tapings. He was on camera, and from what I understand, the backlash when it got out, it's kind of like the whole, what was it, Joey Ryan thing all over.
Yeah, they were. They were giving him the same treatment, like they
basically, they edited all his shit out. So Marty has to lay low for a while. He has to lay low for a definite period of time until this blows over.
Well, I think with him too, I think it was because he was the booker there. Also, it adds more to it. So
I don't even know who's booking for the Strong Style. For their Strong shows. I think that's Shibata.
Right.
Oh, and speaking of which, when I heard about who was booking the Japan tournaments for AEW,
right,
it was Shida.
Oh, okay.
Shida was booking the entire thing.
Right. Well, that makes sense.
But again, do you think she has maybe down the road a booking mind? Do you think she could be a booker down the road?
But they need to have her wrestle more matches. I mean, we talk about Asuka being on a milk carton. I mean,
it's like a catering.
Yeah. It has to be. I mean, Shida, is only there for the last time we saw her in a match was when Abaddon was biting on her arm off.
And that's another person who's at catering right now.
Well, she's been on Dark, so.
Keep her off Dark. Put her on the main show. I think she's an interesting character. She needs to be displayed mainstream.
Do you think the other girls are maybe skeeved out with her gimmick for real, though? Even though, it's Halloween makeup. We know she's not.
She could be friends with those girls backstage. You don't know that.
Yeah.
And again, I watched the show, and I think she was at ringside as one of the quote-unquote crowd.
Right.
And, here comes the giant that walks like a man. I found out that almost is a Nigerian.
Yeah, okay.
He's a legit Nigerian.
Okay, talk from up. Squirrel! Okay, go back to what you're talking about.
But Abaddon needs to be on TV more. It's like the whole Bray Wyatt thing, and they kept Bray off TV forever, you know, just to build up for last night and maybe possibly tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at this, do you care about this tag match at all at Mania?
No, I wish they would give the Hurt Business a rematch myself. I would rather see that than these two.
Well, if they retain, it's going the Monday afterwards will probably be Hurt Business Day all over again.
Yeah.
Because
I'm wondering even if this is like a, I don't know, like a favor for AJ since he did that job with Undertaker last year, and it's like, okay, we'll make it up to you this year. We'll give you a belt. Look
at Sheamus's chest, man.
Yeah, I don't know. He looks like he was on a bad date or something. His chest is all scratched.
He ran into Walter.
Ran into something.
Now, going back to Andrade, again, if Charlotte leaves, if she asks for a release, do you think they build that division around her.
Right.
She is, because of her last name, and she is a good worker, even though she's got shoved down her throat so badly. Like, she's got the Cena treatment.
Yeah.
Do you think Vince is going to let her go? No. He sees value in her. And they kept Andrade around to keep her happy.
Because not only all of that, but if she goes, who else do you think would woo away from there?
Well, that could be a good thing because he wanted to do one more match. At 72. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah, we're watching the barefooted idiot riding a little tricycle around Sheamus during an interview.
This is going to be Mania, isn't it? Fella. Hopefully he kicks the hair off of that boy.
I hope so, too.
I never cared for Riddle because he's the new RVD.
Right. Well, wannabe
RVD.
He's like the Etsy RVD.
Well, here's another thing about going back to the Hall of Fame. They talk about Sabu. Chris Van Vliet asked Sabu if we're going to be in part of the Hall of Fame. He says, as long as there's a payday. Mm-hmm. Do you think they'll induct RVD into Hall of Fame? Because they got that Icons thing coming up.
Oh, maybe.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good.
Yes, the Stallion scooter.
Leave your toys at home.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Greased up the wheels? Is it something I said? I think so.
Yeah.
Who's this? Oh, McIntyre. True. Yeah. Oh, this is going to be another him and Bobby Lashley, blah, 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 blah. Or is it going to be a match?
Right.
You can't take my freedom! But, what do you want to talk about? Other than this?
Well, I had mentioned there were like some other indies that happened to... Oh! Actually, there's one thing I want to talk about before that, though. Mm-hmm. The continuing war between Miro and Mr. Jim Cornette.
Oh, did you listen to it?
I did. First of all, they played back the actual comment that Cornette had said.
Okay.
He did not call Penelope Ford a slut. He was referring to a press photo of her and Kip Sabian. Basically saying he looked like a douchebag from high school and she looked like the slutty girlfriend. He was basically commenting more about the photo than actually about them. He said he doesn't remember Kip Sabian, he doesn't remember seeing him in any other matches or anything like that.
I saw him somewhere else, I forgot where though.
I've seen him in MLW, I've also in Defiant culture. I've seen
breaking news here, Charlotte Flair went to Twitter. You want to read this?
Okay, this is actually from Charlotte's Twitter account. I know everyone has been wondering where I've been. I tested positive for COVID and have been home testing. Thank you everyone for your love. So
this is legit then?
Yep, so hopefully a swift recovery for Charlotte. Wear the damn mask, folks,
Yeah.
get them immunized if you can. If you can't, stay away from other people and, tell your idiots at work, to put their damn masks on too.
Yeah, but like I said, if Charlotte leaves, who would fill that hole? Sasha? Sasha?
Well, probably Sasha or Bailey.
Sasha or Bailey, I mean...
Yeah. Asuka's talented enough, but I think a language barrier.
Barrier.
Plus, it's Vince. He's too old-fashioned. He thinks he should be... I mean, if he had his way, she'd be still spitting mist and wearing a bowler like Mr. Fuji, you know what I mean?
But, like I said, what are your thoughts about Andrade?
I don't blame him. I mean, I'm sure he wants to work. He hasn't been used
since October.
Right.
The thing is, Wrestle Talk even said this morning. I was like, you eventually become unhappy just not working. You're watching your fiance get all the glory right now.
Well, even though professional wrestling isn't actually a sport per se, it's presented as a sport, and he probably feels like, Kenny Omega's, testing another bomb, folks. Don't worry about it. We're all right. No, he probably feels like he's on, a Little League team and he's benched, and...
Yeah.
They have several people that probably feel that way, and, that's got to be discouraging,
Yeah, but, I love this chick.
Yeah.
But it's... I don't know. I don't know.
He probably said or did something that Vince got pissed off about and he's not even aware of.
Yeah. It could be the whole thing going, no, what was it? He can't use Andrade. I forgot what his name in Mexico was.
Yeah.
But could you see him going under the old name, whatever old name he had?
Right. When he first came in, it was Andrade something or another. I forget what it was.
Almost.
Yeah.
Cien Almost.
Mm-hmm. So maybe it'll probably go under that per se. But
how many views on YouTube? 50 billion? Holy shit on a cracker, man.
Yeah.
More than NASCAR, overall most viewed sports channel.
Yeah.
Over NBA, NHL,
NASCAR, ESPN, MLB, and NFL.
NFL, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Let's see who McIntyre takes on.
Well, that's more people that watch their show on regular TV.
Yeah. Or people watching Twitch on Impact.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to Hardcore Justice going back. Oh, we're going to have him against one of the Hurt Business?
Yeah, against Sheldon Benjamin because they interfered earlier. Okay, but anyway.
Okay, against the Gold Standard.
Yeah.
What does Cedric's shirt say? Just Cedric Alexander, or is he still called Prime?
I can't read it. It's Cedric Alexander, yeah.
I like the new shirts, though.
Yeah. I don't know, they kind of look like something you'd buy, outside of, Mr. A's Hair Weave or something.
Yeah.
Has, that cheap gold print on it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the only other things I wanted to mention was there were, a few other indies that... And one trend that I'm seeing that's strange, Chris, is I guess a lot of people are tired of what they're seeing on Raw. Because you're seeing AEW opening a show on YouTube. I saw two indie promotions. I just stumbled upon these by accident. Also premiere their shows on YouTube on Mondays. There's one I mentioned briefly. They're based in Texas called Southwestern Entertainment. And they have a show called SWE Fury. They have weekly tapings like Ring of Honor and all these other indies that do that. They'll tape a month of shows or half-hour or hour shows. I have mixed feelings about it. I think the matches are good. Their camera work needs some work, okay? It's an indie. You're not going to always...
Get WWE production style.
Right. But I was watching, they had a pay-per-view this past Saturday, and they had a women's match. Mm-hmm. and it was for the women's title. And this one cameraman kept chopping off the wrestlers' heads. He didn't have the shot wide enough. Mm-hmm. And it's like you see these women. It looked like you had these two headless women wrestlers for a little while. Their announce team, I think his name is Rob Bottle or something of that nature.
Yeah.
He kind of needs some work. His color commentators, he has Kevin Sullivan.
Brother.
Well, on one hand, he's very he's very knowledgeable. He brings stuff about his old stories, but the other hand, he's like it's like Kevin, brother, you gotta pick up the pace, man. All right.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they have some matches where they're joined by a third announcer, which is their top heel manager, is allegedly English person named Nigel Rabbit. Okay.
Really?
And he, as far as stereotypical, he comes out, he wears like a loud Jim Cornette style suit, wears like a soccer scarf, he has a Union Jack tie, and the guy sounds as British as Sheik Adnan Casey sounded like he was Arabic, okay?
Wow.
But the matches are really good. They have a good mix of veterans and new stars that they're promoting from various schools. Mac and Jazz run a school there called the Dog Pound Dojo.
Uh-huh.
They've had a lot of older names, like I think I mentioned last week, they had Gangrel.
Mm-hmm. Gangrel, forgot his last name.
They have, Just Incredible. Mm-hmm. Then they had a women's match who, it took like 3 minutes to find out the names of the two participants, but one of them was Malaya Osaka.
I haven't heard from her since Shimmer.
Neither have I. And I didn't recognize her at first. I was like, oh, be darned. But they had a pay-per-view this past Saturday for $4.99. I think it was on YouTube TV or Facebook, one of them. But, their camera work, they needed to work on that. They did have some good matches. They had a match for... Now, this is one thing I like about this, Chris. It kind of reminds me of what Billy Corgan's NWA used to do. They try to blend some of the modern wrestlers, but they also try to go back to their heritage as far as the nostalgia. They actually brought back a belt. It was a Texas Heavyweight Championship. He said it has lineage going back to like Dory Funk and Luthez and whoever, But which that was kind of cool. They had a tournament. They had a battle royal for that, and then they had like a double count out between Gangrel and the Blood Warrior who came out with Selena De La Renta. Eventually, those two had a match, and the Blonde Hunter won. He's your new Texas champion. But there's one wrestler you were asking me about last week. Actually, two wrestlers. One that used to spell the word soft wrong, okay?
Oh, no.
Well, he did not show up, but his big buddy did. Calls himself Kaz XL. He came out to the ring. He was a mystery heel that came and squashed somebody after a match with Melina.
Oh, I saw that headline, yeah.
Yeah, so Melina brought him out, and it was Kaz XL. So he's now wrestling in Indies, so he's definitely wrestling in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
The other company that I happened to stumble onto today is with the United Wrestling Network. Those same people who bring you NWA Championship of Hollywood, Wrestling from Hollywood, Championship Wrestling from Florida. Now they have one for Memphis.
Okay.
And it was pretty much a standard indie fare. I didn't see any veterans that I recognized, really. And oddly enough, I'd say the camera work was a little better for that company. Mainly because I think they actually have an over-air TV affiliate like Memphis did. Mm. They actually air it on Saturdays at noon. It's with a CW affiliate, though.
Okay, yeah. Kind of like some of the, what was it? MCW had local No, it was one of the local feds that had,
MEWF had Carroll County Television.
There was another promotion that had Agent Orange as one of their workers, and they were like late night on Channel 13 here.
Right. Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Is that the ones they had at Steeltown?
I think so.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Giving high real quick, giving high praise about Andrade getting his releases to Selena Vega.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm sure. Because, I mean, they were forced to break up, and they were a good team together.
Now, here's the thing. If they both show up at a certain one place, do you see them as together?
Well, maybe.
Back together and being the mouthpiece?
I think if she does go to that elite place, I think she should go in as a wrestler.
She can wrestle.
Yes. Oh, I know. She's very good. But,
we're seeing Shelton Benjamin. Who was his roommate in college again?
Charlie Haas.
His other roommate.
Oh.
Brock.
Oh, that's one thing about that SWE I told you. I don't know if I mentioned this last week or not. Charlie Haas is their champion.
Yeah, you said something about that. He's kind of like a heel.
He's a heel. He had a match against Tim Storm. I actually saw the match after our last broadcast. And it was kind of strange booking. Pretty much, it ended with a heel pin where Haas had his feet on the ropes and pinned Storm, and the referee didn't see it, and he won the bout. Shortly after that, the general manager, Teddy Long, came out. And he came with several security and several officials.
Yeah.
And, Haas was like saying, "You said I would never win this. I want you to acknowledge me as a champion," all this stuff. And he's like, "All right, player, I'll acknowledge you, but I'll acknowledge somebody else. What I have here is whatever county police is here. You hit that referee, he pressed charges." So now,
Christ, really?
you're going to give me this belt. You're going to go to jail now, player. So he was arrested at the end of the ring. I don't know. I thought that was kind of funny, but...
Damn. Really? Damn.
I don't think they would stripped the belt from him, but it was like... I don't know. I thought that was kind of funny, that particular thing there.
But I won't tell you. You're more MLW, where I'm more New Japan. I watch that, and I watch Impact, where I catch up with MLW through you.
Right. Well, MLW, they're kind of behind. They taped their stuff a while back, because, I mean, it's like the same, kind of like with Spin Juice with Impact. You see them take that episode of Impact, they're wrestling live somewhere. Same thing here. You're seeing Selena De Laurentiis, she's managing people in MLW and stuff they taped in Florida like 2 months ago, and now you're seeing her in Texas.
Damn, really?
So.
But, well, I really don't care about this match at all anymore. It's Drew being Drew. Drew's going to win, yada, yada, yada.
And he's going to get jumped by Lashley or whatever.
This is a hurt business.
Yeah.
And it is MVP at ringside.
Yeah. I don't know. Pretty much kind of waiting for the Alexa WandaVision at this point, so.
But I spent Fastlane yesterday, and I watched the New Japan Cup, and that was my wrestling yesterday. And other than, full disclosure, I spent 4 hours of my time watching the Snyder Cut yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And off the air, I'll tell you all about it.
All right.
Well, that's it for me, man. I have nothing else.
Yeah, let me ask you this while we're on the air. We mentioned a couple of things that we were talking about doing for episodes, as far as doing our 3-match card, as well as movie reviews.
Wrestling movie reviews?
Yeah.
Are we going to get the David Arquette movie?
That's one I have in mind. The other one has been reviewed on other channels, but I want our unique take on it.
Yeah, no, you're talking about, yeah.
What? Which one?
Was it They Surviving David Arquette or some shit like that? It was one of them.
No, you can't kill David Arquette as one. The David Arquette match is, in the 3 matches. But the other one, you and I have, I think, seen it together, but I want to revisit it and give your reviews, and I got some specific...
Is this the Leo Rush, Joey Janela match?
No. Now I'm talking about movie reviews.
Right.
The other movie I want to review, Pro Wrestlers vs. Zombies.
Oh my God, that thing was just toxic.
But it was toxic in a good way. But...
It's so bad it's good?
Yeah, it was one of those where, you bought it because you knew it was going to be schlocky. You knew it was going to be stupid, but it was,
And Roddy Piper was in it.
Roddy Piper was in it.
Shane Douglas,
Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Matt Hardy, and his wife. Sounds like Gilligan's Island.
Yeah.
Matt Hardy.
Is this a handicap match? I thought it was just a one-on-one.
It might be Hurt Business Interruptus. Who knows?
Well, the referee hasn't called it.
It
is a handicap.
Okay.
Cedric's walking all gingerly on that foot.
Yeah.
I don't know what's been taped for it. I know Impact just did a bunch of tapings.
Yeah.
Omega was at the taping, so we're
Yeah.
going to see Omega sometime in the next few weeks leading up to Rebellion, which is a traditional pay-per-view, April 21st, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
But, like I said, I want to check out, once I get my phone fixed, I want to check out more promotions.
Right. And as far as the one promotion that I mentioned, the SWE, there's something about that I want to talk to you about off of the air. But, I don't know. I'm going to give it another chance, but, there's some stuff I'll talk to you about. It's off the air business.
If I find some Mission Pro stuff, I'll try to get that too.
Yeah, well...
For being you.
Alright, well, I'll talk to you about that as well.
Okay.
But anyway, alright, is there anything...
Other than the rundown shows, nothing came to my mind.
Alright, okay, give your stalker credentials that nobody gives a shit about.
SC Philito on Twitter and Christopher James Philito on Facebook.
Alright, and of course follow this channel, follow this show, like, subscribe, share the video, please. We are going to, as soon as I get the exact dates, we're going to, probably, as far as the other projects we're going to do besides our regular show, I think we're going to do the 3-match thing first.
Are we going to do that live, or are we just going to tape it on delay?
We'll do that on delay.
Okay.
Probably do all of them on delay. The movie reviews will be short, because we're not going to do that as we're watching a movie. We're just going to, it'll be as if we just watch the film and then
I'll be like,
give our takes on
ooh, no, yeah.
it. Yep. So, alright, okay, folks, well, thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next time.
See ya!
Bitch!